What made you decide polyamory wasn't for you? My husband and I decided to open up our marriage when we were in our early 30s. It was mostly his idea. Even though we had a very active intimacy life, he told me that he wasn't satisfied, and I'd always considered myself an open-minded person, so I thought I'd be fine with it if it was important to him. And for a while it was actually pretty fun. He and I had sort of a don't ask, don't tell policy, but I knew he was dating casually, and I was too. I went on a few dates with this really talented artist who painted this incredible nude of me that I still tucked away, and I had fantastic intimacy with a female pilot. My husband seemed to be having a good time too, so I was really happy with how things were going. Our 10th anniversary rolled around and we decided to do a backpacking trip through Europe. We didn't have a ton of money to devote to the trip, so we were being frugal wherever we could, which was part of the fun really. Staying at seedy places, eating street food, looking for the cheapest nightlife. While we were in Germany, we were staying at a hostel with a bunch of other tourists. One was this Swedish girl, Linnea. She was 19 and about to start college but doing some sightseeing during her gap year. She and I had a nice conversation about her plans to become a nurse and some places she thought we should visit when we made it to Sweden. I didn't think much of it, but later that night my husband revealed that he'd spent some more time talking to Linnea while I was out at a museum. He told me that she'd let it slip that she'd never been in a relationship, and he was pretty sure she had never been with a man before. Something about the way he said it was so forced casual, and he had this look in his eye where I could immediately see what he was thinking. I tried to stay calm and just asked if that was something he was into, and he said sure. Every man wants to be a girl's first time. It was then that I realized that our don't ask, don't tell policy might have been covering up my husband's behavior. All this time I'd been assuming that he was dating people around our age, like I was, but the way he was talking about this girl, I could tell it wasn't the first time that he'd been with, or at least tried to get with, someone who isn't even the legal drinking age back home. The kicker was that he asked me if I would talk to Linnea for him, because he said she seemed shy when he had suggested a hookup with her. I said, so you want me to convince a girl who already said no to you to sleep with her? He got really defensive and said to just forget about it. I made a point of never letting him out of my sight while we were in that hostel, so I know he didn't have a chance to make another move on Linnea, who absolutely was avoiding us anyway, and who could blame her? I couldn't get the image out of my head of my husband making a teenage girl uncomfortable. How many times had he done it before? When we got home, I ditched polyamory, and the husband